This is a reintroduction and announcement video. There are a lot of new folks here. So, who am I? Hi, my name is Astin Gaël. You can call me AG for short. I am a member of a DID system. So this physical body that we reside in is 37 years old. But my personality airs on the younger side of 30. A few things about me. I appreciate art and beauty in all its forms. Music, dancing, poetry, nature. I do consider and certain types of nudity to be art, so you have been warned. But my biggest passion is the art of human connection. A follow-up, really close follow-up to that passion is food. I'm a huge foodie. I lacked variety in my diet for the first 30 years of my life. That is just what happens when you grow up in Oklahoma, and very specifically when you grow up inside of a religious cult inside of Oklahoma. So I am dedicated to trying foods from cultures outside of my own now. I am blessed with a partner who enjoys doing this as well, so we will often go and try new foods together. Recently, I have taken a liking to Caribbean and Latin American foods. If you know of any in the Santa Fe or Albuquerque area, drop them in the comments. I will go to that restaurant and I will give reviews. What do I do? What a broad question to ask somebody, and what a hard one to answer sometimes. I sing, I dance, I write, I chant, I yell, I pray. I do all of these things in the name of healing myself and others. I have a specific desire to help those who have been victims of systemic and or generational abuse. I do believe that both of those often result in a significant amount of self-abuse. So when did I know it was my calling to help others heal? The simple answer: the healer always heals themselves and then they go out and heal others. But we all know that, right? My answer is I heard the call in 2019, but I had no idea what it meant. I didn't know who was speaking to me. I didn't know what they were saying. And I have spent the last 7 years trying to figure it all out. I had my first psychedelic experience before leaving Washington State in 2019. I had an equally powerful, if not maybe a little more powerful, experience in the winter of 2023. And I have committed to having one per year ever since. I'm a big advocate of using psychedelics to heal oneself. And I am a big believer that within the 12 hours of tripping, one can do the amount of work that is normally done in 12 months of therapy. I kid you not. My most recent psychedelic experience resulted in me agreeing to work with, or maybe for, the Morrigan, She is the Celtic goddess of war and death, but most specifically sovereignty. She has called me back into herbalism. So you have her to thank for this video and everything that is soon to come. So, where am I from and where do I live? Well, we've already established that I grew up in Oklahoma. Very specifically, I grew up on the wrong side of the tracks in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. My parents chose to send my sister and I to a private school, and rather than use money for a nicer house in a nicer neighborhood, they spent money on tuition. They put us in public school just before I entered junior high, and we moved to the suburbs of Moore, Oklahoma, also known as Tornado Alley. I ran away to the country, a very rural town called Tahlequah, Oklahoma, to go to college shortly after my dad died in 2009. Now, I want to make a statement here that might clear some things up. I am using I statements, but I, Astin, was not around during all of this. I am the result of 3 different alters integrating. So while I do have memories tied to all of these events, it was not really me present during that time. All right. I just needed to make some things clear about how DID works. In Tahlequah, Oklahoma is where we, the system, met the ex-husband. He and I would probably still be living there had we, the system, not convinced him to pursue more, to leave, to get the fuck out of Dodge. We moved to Wichita, Kansas, and then the Pacific Northwest together before separating in 2019. That is when I moved to Austin, Texas. I ended up remarried, this time to a woman. That did not last very long. And when we separated, I took off and headed towards New Mexico, which is where I'm at now. I live in a very small artist and outlaw town in between Santa Fe and Albuquerque. So how did I get into herbalism originally? Because this is my reintroduction to the world of herbalism. After arriving in New Mexico, which was July of 2021, a former friend of mine, somebody that I actually grew up with in that religious cult in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, we agreed to open an apothecary together. Birds of a feather apothecary. They were the herbalist, I was their apprentice, who was also responsible for marketing, bookkeeping, etc. On our logo, they were a hawk and I was a peacock. It didn't take me long to realize that that's how they perceived our dynamic. They were the present, watchful eye in the sky, and I was a lawn ornament. Needless to say, we dissolved the business within its first year, and I have been scrambling to get back on my feet ever since. In March of this year, I received a $333 small business investment thanks to crowdfunding. By May, I was purchasing the herbs for the first batch of supplements for my own apothecary, which I am very excited to announce is soaps and rums. Soaps, we know what that means, right? Your grandma caught them every afternoon at 3 o'clock. Soaps, stories, telenovelas. That is how I view my tarot readings. They're just stories, and it's nice to see yourself in a story. I do not fancy myself a psychic. I do not fancy myself capable of remote viewing you. I just read some cards and hope that it helps illuminate your life through story. Rums. Well, there is rum in at least one of these tinctures that I have created. So, tinctures, plant medicine, herbal medicine. It has always had an alcohol base. So, soaps and rums apothecary. The first formulas that I have created are very specifically for trans men and or trans-masc non-binary individuals seeking the results of HRT with or without the HRT therapy. If you would like to know more about each of the formulas, there is another video available just for that purpose. Thank you so much. I'd love to get to know you more too, so if you want to tell me a couple of things about you in the comments, please do so. That's how we create community.